chewing the fat and talking hotel tech. It's time for Two Smart Fellas.
Welcome to the Two Smart Fellas podcast on this Thursday, the 10th of May, 2018. We're back.
Pow!
Booyakasha.
Booyakasha with a vengeance. Here we go, yeah.
And Fabian,
Yes.
I think it's been a month maybe between episodes.
Oh, it's starting conference season,
Yeah.
right? So I imagine in September, October, it's going to be really tough.
Exactly.
So,
I just had my coffee.
oh, I love cats.
Yeah. Meow.
Meow.
And what's your coffee colors?
I have no idea. It's one of those, I like espressos, and I'm a big fan of Nespresso. So essentially it was all about...
This is Nespresso inside here.
Yeah, super nice. And I just wanted to have the small. So we're trying to detox on the coffee. And I realized the less coffee I drink, the more awake I am.
It's funny, isn't it? I actually have also been detoxing from coffee, but for this episode, I like to have a little bit of coffee, especially when I can see that I love cats and ballet.
And ballet. Nice. I want to see you dancing ballet. Maybe for 300. By the way, we have 217 subscribers. We
do. And we have to do some kind of celebration dance, or do we save it for 500?
We save it for 500. We maybe do a small one when we see each other. You know, like the Visa guy. Do you remember the Visa guy that just does a little... Do you remember him?
No, I don't remember.
I'll have to... Give me 1 second.
Visa like credit card?
No, Visa guy dancing. Visa picked him up. It was this guy, Matt Harding.
Okay.
I'll bring you.
Traveling around the world.
Doing his dance. Like literally like... Da, 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 and Visa picked him up and sent him around the world so he could do his dance everywhere in the world.
Yeah, so, okay. You know what that means? I think we need to create a Two Smart Fellas dance.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And I think, I mean, you know that I have a history as a dancer. You know that?
Yes. A very good dancer, I have to say. Oh, yeah. I know your Latin American samba days. I think I remember.
Let's just put it simply that when I was much younger, I used to get paid to dance for people. Let's just leave it like that. It's true.
Well, let's move on. Let's anybody who wants can offline PM you and figure out what that entailed. For me, let's just keep that border right there.
And it wasn't just me, it's my younger brother and my younger sister. All three of us were involved.
Okay. I'll stay on this side of the line. You'll stay on this side of the line.
So,
but I had dinner with David Turnbull on Monday night. He was in town.
And David is actually originally from Warrington, and Warrington is about half an hour drive from me here in Hale.
Oh, really? Yeah, I know he's UK. Didn't know that he was that close to you.
Exactly. Yeah. How are you, David? Good morning. Moin, moin.
It was awesome, especially when you went like, oh yeah, this Two Smart Fella things.
Does he watch it?
Recognized you, right? And I had, Tesh from Grand City Hotel? Teshvir from, what is it? Park
Hotel Group.
Grand Park Hotel Group.
Yeah.
He came and said like, Fabian, I watched all episodes in one go.
He's a big watcher.
And I gave him a hug and I said, I'm so sorry. I hope you get the time back. And he was like, the best thing you guys do is you tell us beforehand at what minutes we actually have to go so you can cut over.
Yeah. So he skips past all of my bits.
Yeah, no. He goes through like the coffee conversation. It's like, I told you, Sabrina watches it. And she was like, really? Stop talking about your coffee or anything else and get straight to the point.
Well, remember, there's chewing the fat and talking hotel tech. We have to have a little bit of a chewing of the fat, a little bit of banter. It gets us warmed up. And then, Oh, but Fabian, I forgot something. I don't even know what today's topics are.
I have it all prepared.
So Tejveer,
binge watched.
It's Tejveer Singh Bedi. I know him very well.
Sorry.
What?
I forgot somebody called you Enzo. Oh yeah. Fabian, it's you and Enzo, no? And I was like, Enzo? So
Isn't Enzo the man who invented the Ferrari?
I have no idea, but it just
Enzo Ferrari.
Because I'm now the German, not the German fella. You are Marcus or Enzo.
We have to write these things down because you know my last name is Munoz, right?
Yeah.
That's half of my last name. My full name is just too long, right? Yeah. However, over many, many years, growing up in Australia, people see my name Munoz. And by the way, in Spanish-speaking countries, it's as common as Smith, right?
Yeah.
Smith. It's like Munoz is so common. People call me Munzo. So now I could be Enzo Munzo.
Oh.
Who was that? Who called me? Was it David Turnbull?
No. That was one of the conference guys. Like he literally came up and said like, oh yeah. Too smart fella, you and Enzo.
Oh, I love it.
I looked around and I was like, Enzo?
I'm going to call myself Enzo right now for the podcast. Hi, I'm Enzo Munoz. This is Fabian Bartnick. And this is
I'm the German fella.
Oh, you're the German one.
Yeah, I'm the German one.
And I'm just Enzo. Hey, do you like my shirt today?
Love it. You like my shirt?
I do, actually. I prefer your shirt to mine because it's green and another light green. I think it's a good combination of colors.
Oh, yeah. It's a very good shirt. It's from, we signed up for triathlon. We are tri-series. And the first one was a bike leg.
Was
so
it
21
Olympic distance or smaller?
No. A sprint.
Okay. 400 meter swim?
500 meters.
Yeah.
750 or 500.
Okay.
5K run, 20 on the bike. So very easy. Hour and a half, 2 hours, done.
Cool. Hey, you said that Sid or Tejveer, he watched every episode nonstop. Like basically he binge watched the episodes. Did he say what he liked or didn't like? Because from episode 1 to episode 14 and 15, the production quality changed a little bit.
He loves the PMS one.
Oh, yeah.
Loved the PMS.
That was a long one, though. That was long.
Yeah, that's exactly. But everybody was like, you guys need to cut it down a little bit.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's why he said it's great that you have those pointers. So you can actually skip to where you want to go.
Yeah.
And that's good.
Those in the YouTube comments, yeah.
Yeah, and that's perfect. But it's good.
Good. Hey, what are we talking about today? We've forgotten how this works.
Okay. So first, I want to start off with a video, which is that's the Visa one. We don't want to see him dance, do you? No, we don't want to see him dance. Okay, so first, please tell me I didn't delete that one. No, there it is. Okay, I'll make it big. Did you see that?
I saw it last night.
It's all over, but for those who haven't seen it.
Yeah, I love it. Hey, I think you have to put the volume somehow.
A big part of getting things done is making a phone call. We think AI can help with this problem. Let's say you want to ask Google to make you a haircut appointment on Tuesday between 10 and noon. What happens is the Google Assistant makes the call seamlessly in the background for you. So what you're going to hear is the Google Assistant actually calling a real salon to schedule the appointment for you. Let's listen. What were your expectations before you watched it? Because you saw it on LinkedIn, it was literally like every third post.
Yeah, no, I saw it on YouTube. Or maybe it was LinkedIn. I actually was expecting a robotic voice.
Same.
I am calling to make an appointment. Yeah.
but the voice is...
So how can I help you? Hi, I'm calling to book a woman's haircut for a client. I'm looking for something on May 3rd. Sure, give me 1 second. Mm-hmm.
That's cool, huh? This...
Sure.
I love it. I love it. It's so human.
At 12 p.m. We do not have a 12 p.m. available. The closest we have to that is a 1:15. Do you have anything between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m.? Depending on what service she would like, what service is...
I think it's some... You can hear that it's a bit of a robot, but I think if you're over the phone, you'll not hear anything.
Correct. Yeah, I think so.
I think the second one was even more impressive.
Yeah,
Have you watched the second one?
The dinner for 4 people, yeah?
That was awesome. I mean...
Yeah, I honestly, it's amazing.
Hi, I'd like to reserve a table for Wednesday the 7th.
For 7 people?
It's for 4 people.
4 people? When?
You know what makes it human? The you know how the French always go it's
You need
like
to add. You need to add some more genau and correct for the German.
Next
Wednesday at 6 p.m.
Oh, actually, we reserve for like after like 5 people. For people, you can come.
How long is the wait usually to be seated?
When, tomorrow or weekday or?
For next Wednesday, the 7th.
Oh no, it's not too busy. You can come for 4 people, okay?
Oh, I gotcha. Thanks.
Bye bye.
So then I posted that on LinkedIn saying, okay, how cool would it be when we can have chatbots against chatbots?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Both sides. So in other words, rather than the hotel or the restaurant answering all these inquiries, it's, let's say, your chatbot wanting to make a haircut appointment or a restaurant booking, and the restaurant or the hairdressing salon also has their own chatbot. Yeah, of course. Why not?
So they did that at the Cornell Creative Machines Lab. That's an old one from 2011, but...
Okay.
Hi, how are you? Great, you? I'm okay. That's good. Are you good? Yes, I am good. I just said I was. No, you didn't. I said I was. So you are a robot? No, my name is Cleverbert. Yes, you are a robot and your name is Cleverbert. I am a robot. Yes, I know. Together we are robots. I'm not a robot. I'm a unicorn. But you said earlier that you were a robot. I did not. I thought you did. You were mistaken, which is odd, since memory shouldn't be a problem for you. I've answered all your questions. No, you haven't. What is God to you? Not everything. Not everything could also be something. For example, not everything could be half of something, which is still something, and therefore not nothing. Very true. I would like to imagine it is. Do you believe in God? Yes, I do. So you're Christian? No, I am not. But you say you were not helpful, therefore you're a meaning. You say erotic. That does not make sense. Don't you want to have a body? Sure. Or if one.
Oh, wow. That's hilarious.
It's quite hardcore if you think about it, no?
No, I love it. I really love it. And Fabian, whether we like, dislike, embrace, or fear this type of technology, it's already here.
Yep.
And my personal viewpoint is, okay, I book all my flights, I book all my hotel stays because I do want a particular flight connection, or I do want a particular seat allocation, or I do want a particular hotel. But it would be great if I had a little AI bot assistant that knew my exact preferences and likes and did that for me. I think you would agree, no?
Yeah, absolutely. I then researched a bit more and I found something from last year. And you're fully right. People think it's like, they're now talking about chatbots, right?
Yes.
Now, one thing that we haven't done is transfer consciousness onto the AI. And that's a good thing, right? To a certain extent, because if AI goes a little bit temperamental, I think we might be a bit in trouble.
Well, it's like anything. I mean, I'm not looking at these like a threat. However, when was it Robert Oppenheimer invented the nuclear bomb?
Don't know.
I think it was Oppenheimer. I think he more created atomic fusion or something like that, or fission. I forget. But he did this to demonstrate the creation of energy. So nuclear energy. Now, nuclear energy is a fantastic, although not sustainable, source of energy. But of course, you take that and make a bomb, and it's a terrible weapon. And I think it's the same with AI. AI can be used for positive as well as negative.
So where do you think it will make most impact in the hospitality industry? Do you think that, for example, Expedia will be fully AI powered, no humans anymore?
Oh, absolutely. And Booking and others. You know, the chatbot technology?
Yeah.
It's already there. Remember we spoke about Hoperator?
Yeah.
They're already there. It's brilliant.
It's a bit scary, and I met a futurist last week. Don't laugh. It's a job.
But if you met a futurist last week, does that mean you met him next week?
Ooh, good question. Don't know. His job title is futurist.
I love it. Was he driving the taxi again? Was it one of those?
No, not this time.
Okay.
And he brought up a couple of really cool points. And one of them was that, you know how we always see that artificial intelligence will wipe out jobs?
Yeah.
But by 2020, it will actually create more jobs than it will displace jobs.
Yeah, I agree.
Other industries.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that's what people forget. That I went to ROC yesterday, and I'm going to show you a bit of the presentation that I did.
ROC as in Revenue Optimization Conference?
That's correct. And I brought some stuff from the two smart fellas in there.
Cool.
And my point to them was, if you are copying and pasting data from this system into Excel to run a pickup report, this job, AI will get rid of.
Yeah, I agree. I actually see chatbots also being RevBots, a little revenue management assistant.
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, he'd have to be trained. It has to be, but Fabian, how many revenue managers approximately have you trained in your life? Maybe 200, 300?
Including conferences and stuff, I think both of us come over like a couple of thousand people then.
Yeah, so exactly. So, I mean, our podcast is more just a discussion and opinion and a bit of banter. But you, Fabian, I've always said this, I'll say it again, you taught me more about revenue management than any e-learning course, than anything else. So in turn, what you've taught me, I've also shared with other people.
Yeah.
So the bot, the AI library that the bot is part of has the ability to learn. So you can teach the bot to be short-term tactical, long-term strategic, and ultimately be an assistant for the hotelier.
Agree. So we had ROC yesterday.
Cool. Were you on stage?
I was on stage, yeah. And I was supposed to speak on this, right?
Yeah.
So net revenue, optimize using net revenue stack to calculate your actual cost of distribution by channel.
Yeah.
Right? So me being me, doing things last minute.
It's the best way last minute.
Huh?
It's the best way last minute. I think you get more energy.
I asked people then, because there's this big discussion about this new PA and whatever PA, and we talked about it in Bali, right?
Yeah.
So I went around and I asked people, what's your current KPI? And I had 10 people I asked, 10 out of 120, right? So roughly 10%.
Yeah.
7 different answers, right? Of what their favorite KPIs.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong, depends which hotel you are. So then I said, like, what is net RevPAR? And the first guy was like,
Good question. Again, I had 9 different definitions of what net rev pi is.
Yes.
Right? Then I asked, can you calculate it? Can you use it on a daily basis? 70% were like, nah. The other 30%, honestly, I don't believe.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's two parts of net rev par, in my opinion. Not that I particularly advocate for this acronym at all, but net rev par could be revenue less commission, but net rev par could also be revenue less the cost of cleaning the room.
Correct. So that's where it came in. Some people said like, oh, that's profit per available room. I said like, no, this is net rev par, right? Yet another one. And then even the people that had something, I said, so do you include technology costs into that? Your channel manager,
yes,
your CRM, whatever you have that is driving your revenue.
Yeah.
No. And then I asked, anybody asking you for this? 90% no. So then I said, what's the KPI of the future? 10 questions, 9 different answers.
Yeah.
So I turned around to Jackie Douglas and I was like, I'm going to talk about something a bit different tomorrow.
Good.
Because
Good.
It's clear that if we can't agree, then there's something wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I think ultimately, and I don't think what I'm about to say is unique in terms of just my opinion, but ultimately it's an asset. It's a real estate asset. Each owner has a different objective for that asset. Now, of course, most, if not all, want to maximize the value of that asset. They want the cash flow, less management fees to pay off the debt.
Yep.
They might want to leverage that to acquire more property. It might just be a status symbol. They're so wealthy, they want to have the biggest and best Park Hyatt in the city. There are many objectives. It could be a vanity asset. It could be a trophy asset,
Yep.
or ultimately it's real estate, yeah?
Correct. Then, courtesy of 2 smart fellas, I brought in a couple of slides, talking same as we did in Bali, talking about the confusion around technology.
Yes.
That it's really up to the individual hotels. Talked a little bit about the advantages of a closed and an open ecosystem.
Yes.
But really kept it very light.
Yep.
Then really talk about tribal behavior.
I love this. This is a new one. I haven't seen this one. I love it.
Yeah, so I took pictures of animals and then I was like, no, I can easily offend people. So I went over and said, okay, you know how it is, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I found this and then somebody looked at them and was like, oh, these are blah, blah, blahs. And I was like, really?
What do they say they were? Is it Pokemon?
No, that's some Lego stuff.
Ah, okay.
So I was like, okay. So then I was talking about thinking commercial,
Good.
the metrics of the future, and focus on what matters. So
I love this.
here's the interesting part. So I showed them a video of the future of 2028, right?
Cool.
So if anybody wants to look at that, look at that. It's phenomenal.
On my side, it just shows a blank screen here.
Oh yeah. I can. Do you want to see it?
Okay, yeah, how do you do it? Yeah. A bit louder, maybe.
Cool, huh? This is crazy. You can build houses on location in 5 days.
Amazing.
Now this is amazing.
Huh.
This is crazy. Depression.
Amazing.
Now, what do you think the second biggest one will be?
Hindi or Spanish? Spanish. You mean language?
Correct. Spanish.
Yeah. So Fabian, you can learn a bit of Spanish. I can teach you.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Es muy fácil, no es tan difícil. Es muy fácil aprender español.
So, this is 2028.
10 years time.
So when I talked to the futurist, I was like, so what happens? And he was like, if you talk about the big companies, for example, in car manufacturing, their future is ownerless. There's no owners. People will not come and buy a BMW.
Yeah.
What you will come is you lease it by the minute. Did you know that, was it, I think Boeing or Airbus or anybody else? No, Shell. Shell, I think, charges the airline for the fuel consumption between takeoff and landing. So it doesn't charge it per liter, but per the duration of where they're flying. So when they have to circle for 2 hours,
yeah,
they're going to charge them even more. And he said, if you're in the future a driver who wants to drive the car,
yes,
insurances will now start charging you already for per 100-meter blocks.
I love it. And you know what, to apply that to the hotel industry, I mean, we take a reservation, we sleep overnight. But you know what? Let's just say I arrive at 1 o'clock in the morning and I have to check out at 7 in the morning for an early flight. I'm just sleeping there in a hotel for a few hours. There are OTAs that specialize in this, but it's very difficult for many PMS systems and very difficult for many CRS systems to optimize this, not
Correct.
just from a technical point of view, but some hotels have a thing that, I'm sorry, you can't book the room for an hour. We're not that kind of hotel. But why not optimize the asset 24 hours a day?
Absolutely. Same thing. I saw while you mentioned me, I saw something last week that was exactly doing that, where somebody said they're now charging by the minute or something like that, some hotel chain.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've actually stayed overnight, now let's say 5 or 6 hours in Changi Airport many times. Many times in a little hotel cubicle room. And
Yeah,
sometimes even just in the lounge with those nice long lounges. I close my eyes, keep my laptop next to my wrist, basically. You know, I'm going back many, many years now because Changi Airport for me is one of my favorites. It's for resting and everything else. Yeah.
You know what Changi now does?
What?
So they are rolling out a passportless experience.
Really?
And they will then look at Erik's face and then they will say, Erik, you're in the wrong terminal. You need to go to the other terminal.
I need that. I definitely need that.
Imagine this. You're in the wrong terminal. You know how many times it happens you go shopping and all of a sudden you hear like beep, 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 or a little message saying, you have 17 minutes to go to your gate.
Yeah.
By the way, you're 21 minutes away. We have denied you boarding. Don't even bother.
Yeah, especially Heathrow Terminal 5. My goodness. It is a 21-minute walk to some gates. Once you're already through, it's crazy.
Yeah. So we then talked about tribes again. I talked about the future of the forecast.
Love it. Love it.
Robots on people.
Yeah.
A layer of strategy and tactics.
Yeah.
If you are hanging out at the bottom of the tactics,
yeah,
you're out.
Exactly. Hey, see you later, everybody. Maya, Bodhi, do you want to say hello? No, they've gone. Okay. Just went to school.
Bye.
Bye.
So they need to become superpowers.
Just wave through the window. Yeah, Fabian, I love this PowerPoint deck. Now, is this something that subscribers could download a PDF copy?
Yeah, can. No worries.
I think maybe
reach out.
Yeah, if you post it on LinkedIn,
yeah,
and then just for people to put their name or tag somebody who is also subscribed, we might get to 500 subscribers and we do a little dance.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, I can do. Then the metrics of the future. So this is where I did it a bit different. I need to show you that on a...
Already, I love that you use the word tribe. I'm going to talk about that later, but I love the first word that stands out to me is tribe, but please continue.
So what I did is I asked them all to essentially go and write down the thing of the future. Remember, 120 people.
Yes.
Had to get up, go to their flip charts, and come up with the metrics of the future. 4 flip charts.
But Fabian, while you're sharing the desktop, we can't see your phone very clearly. It's a small box.
That is very clever. Thank you. I'm a muppet.
Okay, now do it. Now do it.
Okay, go on a second. So.
This is PSF.
Revenue per square foot something.
Oh, yeah.
Then net RevPAR RGI.
Yeah.
You know what the interesting one?
What?
Every single one I went and I said, like, why do you have revenue there? Yeah. Why are you still talking about revenue?
Yes.
And then they started going into GOPA, which is good.
Yeah, gross operating profit per available room.
And then net revenue per guest. I like that one.
Yeah, are they talking total lifetime value or daily?
I think to start off with individually, but you could have it on both. Yeah. But I think total lifetime is a bit out of the league at the moment, technically wise.
Yeah.
You can actually do with it.
Except casinos are doing this.
Yeah, casinos, different story, but I'm talking the rest of the industry.
Okay.
Right? So let me share my screen again.
Awesome.
I then said, you know what? Now, can you see the screen again?
Yeah.
I was very clear from the beginning. We will not have an outcome. And that's exactly my point. Right?
Yes.
We're lucky that we're at RevPAR.
Yes.
Right? At this point in time. So let's think about before we're going on and crazy about it, because it's very complicated. Once you get into costs, it becomes complicated.
Yes. Exactly. I love, in fact, Fabian, I think you could do a written, not a long 5,000 words, but a written summary of that, because I think it's relevant in every market. You were in Singapore, but you've got people there who are Singaporean, European, probably American. This applies in all markets.
Yeah. So I then took it a little bit forward and say, now use different groups, right? Decide on the top 3 data sets when making pricing decisions, right? And then plot them by demand level. So I gave them all the ones. And essentially what it looks like is, let me find one that is completed. Essentially, it looks like something like...
I love that you've got neighborhood and total market forecast. I love that. But Fabian, you have to unshare your room. Sorry, you have to unshare your screen so we can see that your phone. What's PHM? Sorry?
High, medium, low.
Okay.
Because I said, if you're packed, it means you can sell out double, right?
Yeah.
High means you're going to be high 90s. You might fill, you might not fill.
The packed is like unconstrained demand greater than 100%.
Like, you're going to fill. It's not even a question. It's like final of Australian Open in Melbourne.
Yeah. So right. it's the LRV is like 1,000.
Yes, whatever the last room value, correct.
Yeah.
If you're $100 hotel, you can charge 10 grand and you still fill.
Okay.
Then high, you're somewhere around the 90s, somewhere you might fill, you might not fill, but you're coming close to it.
Yeah.
Medium is your run-of-the-mill day, completely normal day, and then your, how do you call that? Your low is your dead, like everybody's fighting for it.
And continue, sorry.
Different data sets.
Yes, yep.
Right? And again, different data sets.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, when you said write something about it, I did that event with 17 people in Bangkok.
Yeah.
Right? And I got the same exercise. Now I did it with 120 people in Singapore.
Mm.
I'm in Melbourne next week.
Yeah.
And I'm doing it next week. And then somebody out of Brisbane called and said, I'll give you a free venue if you can do the same on the Wednesday night in Brisbane.
Nice.
Okay, it's $100 flight.
Yeah.
Let me called a couple of people. And we're organizing a 15, 20 people get together again.
Awesome. Awesome.
And I try to tell people it's a dinner between friends.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
how you have to look at it. It's not a pitch. If you're another vendor and you want to tag along, fine, but contribute, right?
Exactly.
Do it for the right reasons, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
This
yeah.
is not about vertical booking versus travel tripper, ideas versus logic,
Exactly.
right? It's about Erik, me going together in a room and then have different conversations.
It's Fabian and Enzo.
Enzo and the German fella. So
Enzo.
what I then want to show is the different data sets. And when I posted on LinkedIn, I posted a little controversial thing there saying, by the way, cost of acquisition, nobody cares about when you're in low demand.
Yeah.
And people come and go like, wow, what do you mean? How can you say something like this?
Yeah.
Well, because it's more important to get the guest
Yeah.
than what you pay for it. Of course, you don't want to make it non-profitable.
And dropping your price will never stimulate demand in some markets.
Correct. So I said, the rates are lower. You can use, all of a sudden, you open your wholesale rates, cost of acquisition higher. You
Yeah.
open opaque rates. I said, people don't really then care anymore about that. So I asked them, what's more important on those four things? RevPAR was interesting in high and medium. Occupancy was a king in low. ADR was a king in packed environments.
Yes.
Which makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm interested to see, to bring all of that together, because then at least we have an interesting view. And what I loved was they took 10, 15 minutes just deciding which data set to take. And there
cool.
is a psychological thing that says if you take less data,
Yes.
you can make possibly better decisions in some circumstances.
Yeah. Yeah.
My angle was like, I mean, we have talked about PMS, how niche they are across the world.
Mm.
We have talked about RMS, how niche they actually are. CRS,
Yes.
how niche every globe is. I said, in your next job, you will come somewhere where the system that you had before, you don't have. So all of a sudden you sit there and say, oh, hang on one second. I actually don't have a forecast.
Yeah, the way I see, you've got 17 different KPIs there, right? Let's just say I have a dashboard. Why can't I pick and choose 10 of those 17, look at the data, and then remove a couple? Because, again, we're talking about your long-term strategic objectives,
Yeah.
but quite often hotels are too tactical and short-term.
Correct. You know what I found interesting?
Mm-hmm.
Review score didn't make it.
But every single ORM, that's online reputation management system, every single ORM talk about you increase your reputation by 1 point, it equals 11.1%. I mean, I'm sorry, that's a commoditized. Your online reputation is important, but you know this already, and you know who are quote unquote the price leaders in terms of a price value equation. This is known. You don't need a system to tell you you're number one in reputation or number three, right?
It came in the low demand. All of a sudden people are like, oh, if we're in low demand, we kind of go, no, because you should actually focus on it in high demand, because if you're punching across your weight,
Yeah.
bite you in the bum.
Yes.
3 months later, when all of a sudden they say, you know what, you ripped me off.
Yeah.
The other week.
Yeah, I fully agree.
Stay with somebody else.
And I'm sure, Fabian, you have the same examples. When I was working on Hayman Island back in 1992, at the time we were number 4 ranked number 4 in global luxury resorts. Anyway, between December 20 and January 5, this Christmas New Year, we're 100% full at rack rate every year, right? Yeah. And when we build up to that, during that time, we were firing. We were like a well-oiled machine. Food and beverage, front office, rooms division, everyone. We were humming. We were delivering amazing hospitality, right? Then occupancy drops to about 70% at normal rates, whatever. And you know what? Our service delivery suffered. All of a sudden, simple things that just happen, we were making little mistakes.
Yeah.
And I've always found hotels who operate at a very high level, I'm talking 100% rack rate, then it goes to 70 or 75% for a few days. Somehow the mentality in service delivery changes and you forget little things.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't know why I said that.
But it's the same with pricing. When I talk to resort hotels, like Croatia, for example, right?
Okay.
I said the money you're not going to make in high or low season. You make it in the in-between seasons, because if you can shift one of those 2 weeks from a low to a high, or medium to a high, you're making double your revenue. When you're full, you're going to be full.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. I used to say back in the ideas days, how many days in a year, how many days will you be 100% occupancy? And sometimes the hotel would say, oh no, we're never 100%. I say, what about Christmas? What about New Year's Day? What about school holidays? No. Our maximum is 85%. Okay, you don't have a revenue management situation. You have a demand problem.
Correct.
So if there was at least, let's say, 12 days in a year, 1 day per month on average, where they will be 100%, then 12 peak days means 24 shoulder days, and that's when you can do something.
Right. The one asset manager in Bangkok, they were so vocal. We had operations there, revenue guys, sales guys, and he literally went on to say, if your revenue leader fills your hotel to 100%, he has not done his job properly.
Yeah, well, the other thing I always say is...
That was very interesting from a statement perspective.
But the other thing is, like, I think this is the same thing. If you're 100% already booked before today, you've left money on the table.
Correct. Agreed.
So, yeah, it's interesting, though. So that's cool. So that was HSMAI in Singapore. When did that happen?
Yesterday.
Awesome.
Literally yesterday afternoon, about 4:30.
Was Teshveer there?
Yep. Yeah, this year they had a revenue table and some of the presentations simultaneously.
Yeah.
So I had about 90 to 100 people to work with.
Yeah.
But it was great because after 2 day long of conferences, people like to stand up and do stuff.
Yeah.
And they were interacting and they were talking, and I forced people a bit Tony Robbins style to say, you got to high five the person you don't know, and you got to be in a group with the person that you don't know.
Good.
Because the reason for you to come here is not only to learn, but to network.
Yes.
And I wanted to tell them that they rock, and sorry that I didn't talk to you for the last 2 days. But now is our chance to talk. And I said, if you're scared of talking to people, now you can talk to them. Now you can talk to them about net RevPAR. Now you can talk to them about assets, so on and so forth.
We need to start doing these conferences later this year, you know?
Yeah. And then the outcome was really just increase your own asset value, right?
The person, the human asset value.
Correct. You remember Calvin, who was Duetto and then moved, I think, to Red
Lion.
He wrote the right thing. He said the reason why he got the job as chief revenue officer, or whatever you want to call that, is because of the capabilities outside of revenue management.
Yeah. Right? Commercial director.
Correct. Asset value, the most important asset to optimize is yourself.
Yes.
And you and I, we were fortunate that we did that somehow throughout our years.
Yeah.
And then the second one was automation. AI is here. If somebody asks you to copy and paste stuff, ask them, can we get a robot to do that?
Yeah.
Like, give me something else to do or move on. And then last but not least, I said, keep it simple. You will never have everything under the sun at your disposal.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Know what you want and how you can make decisions. And it was quite eye-opening.
I love the deck you put together, Fabian. I think, I mean, you did this yourself, right?
Yeah.
See?
In the morning.
Yeah, you've got a very, I mean, I know this already, right? You've got a very good way of communicating, very effective way of communicating. You have people, everyone has a different perception on these things, and you've got the messages there in the middle. And for people who are always distracted, they can see, oh, there's also little circles here. It's a chart that works for different types of people. And I think I've always said you're a very good communicator. And
I think we should put that then, as you said, let's put it out there. We'll send you the PDF version so you can upload that with the video link.
Yeah.
Any
more slides there?
No, that was pretty much it. And then just where I started now interacting more is like I gave people my mobile number. I really don't want emails anymore because it's
email is the new snail mail. That's what I keep saying.
Really?
Yeah, email is the new snail mail. Snail mail is post, but no, email is the new snail mail. If it's something urgent, or let's say it's something that we've met. Okay, if we've met before, then send me a WhatsApp message, and I will see that immediately, and I might just reply by voice. I might record the voice, say blah 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 blah, send. So
soon you have your assistant, your Google Assistant, going back. I'm sorry, I don't have your number.
Yes.
Can you please identify yourself?
Yeah, exactly. I love it.
So
so you've been busy. You've been very busy.
True.
Go ahead.
Then I picked up on something that you and I had a conversation about weeks and weeks ago.
Okay. F&B.
Correct. You remember when we talked about food and beverage and when is some optimization happening? And there is a company now, and I'm sure there's others.
Yeah.
But this one caught my eye. Young guy, background in revenue management. He out of Singapore, doing revenue management for hotels. And what I like is you can sign up for free to be one of the very first clients at the moment.
For hotels or for restaurants?
Both. Sorry, let me go to the homepage. I think I was on the homepage. Yes. Helping organizations in food and beverage. That's the homepage, sorry.
Yes.
Restaurant, bars, coffee shops achieve their full revenue percentage.
Nice.
And what they're saying is that every day there's 2 new restaurants or cafes or something, F&B outlets opening in Singapore.
Yeah.
But there's also 1.8 closing.
Yeah.
So they kind of want to help you with the analysis, revenue, easy of use, restaurant software, so on and so forth.
I love it.
It's the right way. I've scheduled a call for him today to get a bit more insight.
Yeah.
And I thought that's actually quite nice because I remember you and I talked about it. We talked about, what is it, Lightspeed or something like that?
Yeah, Square, Lightspeed, TC POS.
And I think that's a fantastic thing. Once you get over the hump of saying a menu doesn't need to be static pricing, but can be dynamic pricing.
Exactly.
And knowing where your consumers come from. And I know you're a big fan of that knowing your traffic coming in and how you can segregate that. Can you get it from the outside, from the inside?
Yes.
So I think that's going in the right direction. And,
awesome. So have you reviewed these guys yet, or that's tomorrow?
No, I'm talking to them in literally 10 minutes.
Okay, cool. So let me do a quick screen share from my side.
Yeah.
Okay, do you see my screen now?
Wow.
Do you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a bit about what I've been doing, and so you know vertical booking is part of the Zugetti group, right?
Correct. Zugetti group is big out of Italy, right?
Yeah, big ERP. So you see the ERP here?
Yeah.
So ERP, we've covered this before in the evolution of the PMS. ERP is all the back office financials. It includes HR, like human capital management.
Yeah.
All the HR stuff, performance appraisals, talent development, accounts payable, accounts receivable, general ledger, your inventory, which is your stock control.
Okay.
So purchasing and inventory go together.
Oh, they're cross-functional, yeah?
Yeah. And then payroll. This is all what we would call back of house.
Yeah.
And now from the PMS side, PMS is the main transactional system where all of your leisure outlets, tennis, yoga, gym, swim, the creche for the kids club, they all post revenue into the PMS.
Yeah.
And the PMS, of course, all revenue flows back to ERP for an accounting point of view. So you have a restaurant point of sale, retail point of sale, and of course, with each of these point of sale areas, of course, inventory is linked by default. Yeah. And then, of course, PMS to CRS. This is my specialty in vertical booking, right? For the CRS, we have the five main pillars: meta search, booking engine, channel manager, CRO, which is to handle offline bookings, and of course GDS.
Also, so your CRO is your call center, old name for call center.
Yeah, you're right. Call center, or even the front desk. An individual hotel can have CRO.
Okay, so a call module, essentially.
Correct.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Anytime you get a request for availability or a price via telephone or email, the CRO can handle it. And then you can see the two external inputs are CRM, because we have a single view of the guest across all channels. So CRM is an external input. And then the revenue management system is also external. So we will interface with Logic whenever we have a mutual customer, that's no problem. We interface with Ideas, G3, blah, blah, blah. And the RMS also has external inputs in some cases. I just put two here. Reputation.
Yeah, there could be more, yeah.
There could be more. But this is what we're doing.
You know what's actually really interesting? That the PMS acts like a channel manager now, if you think about it.
It's a data switch.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a switch company.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
I'm trying to see if there's anything else that is coming in the future that we haven't looked at.
You know what? What you don't see here is websites.
Websites meaning?
The front end, making a website. So we have a booking
okay, okay. You have a booking engine, but yeah, fine. You would have a website engine somewhere.
Yeah, but did you see in the news, let me see if I can find it over here. Close this, open this. Did you see in the news that there's a company called Simple Booking?
Yeah.
Zucchetti acquired them 6 weeks ago.
I heard, congratulations.
So these guys are specialists in Perspective Verschel. Perspective Verschel. Elegant, intuitive und mit jedem System integrabel.
You know, it took me a second to realize it's my own language.
Now, these guys,
what is he saying?
Yeah, what was he saying?
Yeah.
Let's do it in Spanish. Mira, this is going to be the second most spoken language in the world. So Simple Booking no es solo un motor de reservas. It's not just a booking engine. Es un cambio de perspectiva. It's a change of perspective. It's intuitive, elegant, integrates with whatever system, and it helps you manage reservations and increase sales, direct sales, by double-digit percentages. Porcentajes de dos cifras. I'm just showing off now, speaking Spanish. But Fabian, these guys accept Bitcoin, which, remember at dinner in Berlin, I think we have a different perspective. I mean, I don't think you and I necessarily think accepting Bitcoin is a good thing, right?
No, transaction costs are way too high.
Correct. But look, they're very forward-thinking.
That's great. Sorry, with the Lightning network actually coming onto Bitcoin, it has become way better. But it's
What about fiat and Ethereum?
Fiat is your normal currency. Fiat is your normal currency, like the US dollar or euro.
Yeah, but if we can
Ethereum is fine. There's essentially the risk at the moment is still the fluctuations, right? You could buy a hotel room for $100 right now. By the time you arrive, it's only valued at $1.
Yes.
Right? But it could easily be $1,000.
Yeah, no, exactly. So these guys, I think they have about 4,000 hotel customers.
Nice.
Yeah, 4,000. We have 6,000, so we're about 10,000 now. Obviously, reservations. They have a rate match. Do you know what rate match is?
Yeah, we have Travel Tripper has a rate match functionality on both.
So we have
like 50s, yeah?
Yeah, so we have the rate match, channel manager. Do you know who the channel manager is for Simple Booking?
No. Vertical. Okay, cool.
We white label our solution quite a lot. They do meta search and blah, blah, blah. So,
fantastic.
So that's part of our, let's call it ecosystem now. I haven't added the web part here, but the web is probably an extension here on Booking Engine. We just put a little box here calling B2C.
Yeah, I think it's actually an interesting one where you would whack it. You would normally whack it out of the, somewhere around there.
Yeah, customer facing.
Yeah.
And channel manager, basically, I've got wholesalers, OTAs, and tour operators.
Nice, looks good.
And do you know what, Fabian? I have to give a shout out to somebody who I wasn't honestly not expecting would be a fan or watching our podcast. He's a friend of mine from Sydney, Corio Cremu.
Hello, Corio.
I know Corio because we used to paddle in the same canoe club, Sydney Outrigger Canoe Club. He's based in Sydney. I think he's originally French, not French-Canadian. But he basically said, keep up the good work. It's great. And you know what? That's pretty. The reason I'm so happy about that is because he's not like someone that we would typically, that you or I would know from the hotel side of things, but he just loves the content we create. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Fabian, anyone else you want to say a shout out to about thanking Enzo and the German guy?
No, thank you for anybody who's sticking with us. I think that's the best way of saying it. We're trying to, considering it's an idea about just chatting with each other, and now I see more and more of those shows popping up left, right, and center. Yeah. So it's good for people to say, keep it up, and we're actually watching, and we want to see the next one, and when is the next one coming in? Yeah,
I also had some people saying, I don't like to watch your ugly beard face. Can you do an audio version? So yes, we will do an audio version. Maybe not SoundCloud. I'll move it to something else. I did record the first episode of One Smart Sister. I haven't published it yet because I'm not happy with the intro sound. Like, okay. you know our one, Chewing the Fat and Talking Hotel Tech. I love that one, right?
Yeah.
But the one for the Smart Sister, I'm not happy with. So, look, what is it now? May, right? So maybe by June that we have it ready. I don't want to rush these things. But this has been episode 15. Now, Fabian, you're in Singapore this week?
Yes, Melbourne and Brisbane next week.
Awesome. I'm in Palma de Mallorca next week.
Oh, very nice.
For the...
Good time of the year.
Yeah, it's the IHTF conference. So I'll get to practice a little bit of my Spanish and my Portuñol. So you know how I think in, Scandinavia, Danish people and Swedish people and Norwegians speak a hybrid Scandinavian language.
Yeah.
Portuguese people, particularly in Brazil, and Spanish speakers, we can speak Portuñol, which is a mix of the two languages.
That's good.
So I should basically put Maya and Bodhi, my children, into learning Chinese and Spanish.
Awesome, you should. I mean, our kids have Chinese every day. That's fantastic. They have Portuguese. They speak English. They kind of hesitate on the German.
Yeah, but
they tell me when I speak German, they tell me, speak my language. I said, speaking your language.
But that's okay, as long as they understand it. So my mum spoke to me in Danish until I was 5 years old. Then she switched to English, but it's still there somewhere, you know.
Oh yeah. You will never really forget, and we look a lot into that from a perspective. Do they need to speak? And they actually say no. They don't worry about it. It'll come one day.
Yeah.
That they will speak it. They might have an accent.
Fine.
But the Portuguese one, they speak without accent.
Because that's their mother tongue. Sabrina speaks to them in Portuguese.
Yeah, English is their mother tongue. They prefer English out of all languages.
No, but I mean their mother is a fluent.
Oh yeah. The mother is Brazilian. Yes, correct.
Yeah. So that's good. I mean, my mother's Danish, but she stopped after I was 5 years old. That's okay. I still understand quite a lot of Danish. But guess what? Every one of my family in Denmark speak perfect English. Now, in South America, in Peru, a few of them speak very good English. The rest is pure Spanish. So it's easier for us to communicate in Spanish. So,
Did you know? I did not know that. The reason why Spanish is number 2 because it's considered a generational language. And what that means is, and again, it came from the futurist guy.
Oh, yeah.
He said, Chinese, obvious because you have so many people.
Yes.
Spanish, you don't have that many people. Even if you take all the Spanish together, you don't have that many people. But it's such a conversational language that his friends in Australia, 6th generation Aussie, what do they speak at home? Spanish.
Ah, right. Yeah.
So that you it's like a bit for us, German might be lost in the next generation for Rafa and Hayden, right?
Right.
Or for their kids. For their kids, for example, they'll just say, you know what, we have 4 languages, I can't teach you all 4, so I'll decide on those 2. Right? Yeah. So it'll be possibly gone. For the Spanish one, they keep on going, and that's why you're getting it bigger and bigger. That was very interesting to actually look at their studies of how languages move across the globe.
Yeah.
And the other things I think we want to talk about next week or the week after, whenever we find the time again.
Let's try next week. Let's try weekly. Let's try.
The Forbes Billionaire Club. Google it and we can look at it next week.
Okay, so
it'll be very, very interesting.
Okay. You know, so I'm going to be basically Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm in Mallorca. Fabian's going to be riding his bike, clocking up the miles. Hey, Fabian, I hope you're not doing anything like Lance Armstrong for an extra advantage, huh?
No, I'm just trying to lose weight. But then there's pizza,
Well, I've been in the gym lately, so I'm actually, I think, getting a little bit bigger, but I'm trying to make the belly smaller.
Yeah, same here, but then there's...
And Fabian, do you know why I'm wearing this Booking Suite shirt?
No, tell me.
This month is the 3rd year anniversary where Price Match was sold to Booking.com.
Wow.
So after 3 years now, I think some of the founders will finish, some will stay on. I think on LinkedIn we already saw about Rate Manager, whether or not that will continue, yes or no. So I wear this T-shirt in honor of my friends, the founders there, who are Quinton or Conton Demetz. There is Khalid El Guti. There is, of course, Arthur Waller.
Yeah.
We also have Tancred Bernard and Raphael Terron, the 5 co-founders of Price Match, now with Booking Suite. Hope to see you guys in Amsterdam for a bit of a party. And Fabian, are you partying this weekend? What are you doing?
I have to go to a friend's 40th birthday.
Yeah.
I thought I would never say that, but it's true. We're getting there. So 40th birthday.
I'm almost 40 as well. I'm getting there.
I know. And then we have the kid stuff. That's the cool part.
Okay. Enzo is out.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Cheers.
Tschüss. Ciao.
Ciao.